If you're anything like me, you're just like a medieval devil hunter. You're currently really wishing you could find a devil and beat him. And okay, well, I'm talking about the upcoming Memphisto action figure and some of the difficulties that have come with getting him, not to mention the fact that, yeah, it's pretty tough selling a devil figure. That's why this one was sold in comic book stores only. Well, we have a new one, and that's what's the subject of the controversy. Not the fact that it's a devil action figure. I don't think anyone's upset about that. I think what people are upset about is to get our said devil action figure, you need to buy a lot of other stuff, and really what we want is Memphisto, a major villain from the Marvel Universe, and having him tied to having to buy a car to acquire him is making a lot of people uncomfortable because he's a very popular villain. And honestly, I'm 100% behind you guys. There's going to be difficult ways to get out characters like this, but there are ways. And I'm picky with my Marvel Legends. I'm an X-Men 1992 era, Spider-Man 1992 era, and gee, shockingly, also 1991 Infinity Gauntlet, which was kind of my big first Marvel Universe book. I was there, not Johnny come lately, but buying this off the rack. And Mephisto plays a big part in this, so I've been slowly acquiring a Marvel Infinity Gauntlet comic book collection of Marvel Legends, and so I need a Mephisto, but I don't want to add a car to my purchase because I already own two cars. Well, my wife and I own two cars. We each have a car. We're blessed. What can I say? All right. Point being is those of us who don't want a car but do want a Memphisto are saying, well, wait a minute, if it doesn't go forward and I have to tell them the bad news that this is going to not move forward, then we don't get Memphisto. But I saw Memphisto in a case and there's an action figure of him. Why don't they just make him? He's already ready to go. Just slap him in a package. Well, unfortunately, we're going to need the help of one mighty specter on this one. And no, I'm not kidding, and there's a reason for that. So bear with me. There's a logical reason I'm bringing in Purple Pus here. This is the prototype shown at New York Comic Con when we revealed him. This is him in his final plastic form, also under similar conditions and lights. So very few differences. Obviously, some with the color of the purple, and he actually has the laser whip there that had to get cut. More's the pity. Now, this awesome thing here was a gift the Horseman gave me one year, and it's one of my treasured possessions, but it is made the exact same way as a prototype action figure, which is what allows me to explain this. That's why we're using Mighty Spectre, because I own that little statue. So this is also a statue. That's the thing. So you'll notice that the prototypes are a little bit smaller than the final figure on the right there, back to back. Now I know he's on a base, but I put the other figure on the base behind him. All right, so looking at this, yes, well, it looks like an action figure. It's not. It's made of resin, very fragile, very breakable, and it's held together by pegs. All of the joints are. And assembling them is, well, it's actually kind of fun. I mean, for a toy fan, but I think for the setup crew, it can get monotonous. This is looking at a tooling model where you see just the new parts of Mighty Spectre. And this is the final version. You can see the whole video I did on how an action figure is made for a deep dive on that. But back to Mephisto, the reason I needed to show all that was because I have that Mighty Spectre statue that looks like a Mighty Spectre action figure, and that's the same thing. Mephisto may look like an action figure, but a prototype is only going to cost you a few $1,000s at the most. I mean, it could even be a lot less. The tool, the giant metal thing that the plastic has to be, baked in or squirted in, but injected, that's the right word. Well, that's going to cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, a fully tooled 6-inch figure, absolutely. Castle Grayskull was closer to $500,000. I mean, these things are expensive. So when you see figures in display cases, be it Mighty Spectre or Memphisto or hopefully Spot soon, well, this is what you're looking at. You're looking at a resin prototype, but it looks exactly like it. Now, let's say we reversed things and said the opposite scenario, that Hasbro has tooled the engines of vengeance, wheels of vengeance, engines of vengeance, figure and car and flame snap-on parts, which I admittedly admit are really cool. I just have no emotional attachment to this storyline. And that means they've already tooled Mephisto and heck, maybe even the Goblin Queen and maybe something beyond that. So under this scenario, if this is our null hypothesis, well, it means that they spent a huge amount of money, and for the car, for all of that, I mean, yeah, we're talking a lot. Castle Grayskull, again, cost almost $500,000. So, and that was 2012. If you want to understand the full circle to this, see part 2 of this, where I discuss why companies don't move forward without a purchase order. And that will close the loop on understanding what we're seeing during pre-sales and how they get made. I hope you enjoyed this. That's my intent, is to explain things in the toy industry that, from my experience, I can. If you did, sharing this video is the best way to show support for this channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.